Question 12, boy. You need to talk about the change in France exports based on sources B and C. Notice that you need to refer to both source boy and source C, right? And this is an examination skill that you must remember in your DSE. When the question asks you to refer to two sources, you must respond to each of these two sources. Don't just look at source boy and answer the question. Don't just look at source C and answer the question. And some of you told me something like that in your mock practice. You say that, from source boy, so there is a drop in the number of visitors, right? And that's why the export of services decreases. And you finished, hoping to get 3 marks. Of course, you couldn't do so because you only considered source boy. And some of you answer something like that. They say that export increases. Why? Because here in source C, you have an positive percentage change, right? You have an increase in the export. Then you say that export increases because the percentage change is positive. Once again, you only consider source C. Of course, you couldn't get the full marks, the 3 marks here for part B. So what you have to explain is, you have to refer to each of the source. From source boy, we know that there is a drop in the export of services. In source C, you know that there is an increase in the total export, right? Then you need to explain why these two happen at the same time. We have a drop in the export of services. At the same time, we have an increase in the export. Then you may have to think about the components of export. For total export, except of services, what else do we have? We have the export of goods, right? To explain why the total export finally increased, we must also have an increase in the export of goods. And that's why you have to tell me that the export of goods also increases. And you also need to make the comparison, because one of the component drops, another component increases, then you have to make a comparison of these two components to finally get an increase for the total export, right? And that's why you also need to explain that, and then at the same time, the increase in export of goods is larger than the decrease in export of services. Then in that case, you have finished. You have to refer to both source boy and C and think about the component, make the comparison so as to answer this question.